Hey, what's up, guys? So, we all know that the content we consume is one of the best ways that we can motivate ourselves in language learning and make it so that we stay motivated through a long period of time. But today, I want to talk about another factor that rarely gets mentioned in the language learning community that I think is extremely important and that we should all keep in mind. So, if you don't know me, my name is Mark. This is Language Come Up, a channel where I come up and you do too. So, what I really wanted to talk about today is emotional connection in language learning. All right, so the last couple of weeks have been kind of chaotic for me. I haven't been on a good schedule in really any aspect of my life, so therefore, it is also affecting my language learning. All right, so when I'm not taking care of some other things I need to, maybe I can feel a bit down, and therefore my language learning will suffer. But thankfully, due to interesting contents, I'm at least able to watch an episode of something that I like every day and just do some passive listening just because that's so easy to do. And if I do this, I don't feel that I'm losing ground in my language learning. At the very least, I feel that I'm just staying the same. Although the truth is, you know, there is still subconscious progress being made, even if it doesn't feel like that. But I know that there is. So I don't. I'm typically not so hard on myself if I can just do that. But ideally, I want to be sticking as closely to um, my plan, the routine that I have for myself, as closely as possible. But of course, other things need to be in place. So, due to all these things that I haven't been able to do in my normal life outside of language learning, um, you know, I haven't felt, such enthusiasm like normal to do what I need to do. But, I have been getting along. But yesterday, there was something that happened that was just really interesting. I was going to watch a movie in Russian, but, you know, I decided, you know what? I think I'm going to watch something in Spanish or an English movie. But I was listening to Russian music at this time, and there's this one new group from Belarus that is really cool. It's kind of like um, post-punk new wave type thing with a sound from the past, but brought to the modern day. And it was so cool. I decided to listen to the album, and I'm like, oh my god, this album is so amazing. And I was reminded of something that I have always known to be true. Emotional connection in language learning is so extremely important. While listening to this album and having finished it, I felt that inspiration for Russian that had been missing the past couple of weeks just due to what was going on in my life. And all of a sudden, it clicked on again. And now I just feel so, I feel that excitement back again. And I think that we need to really keep in mind how we can implement such things in our life, right? So um, I've lived in Mexico for quite some time, and me in the Spanish language, that is such a part of me that Spanish could never not be a part of me because all of the experiences that I've had through this language, all that I've lived, the beauty, the cool experiences, the friends, you know, love even, all that I experienced in this time is just, it's just such a part of me. And although I can't replicate this with Russian, um, we can find ways to basically do the same thing, although not on such um, a wide level, right? So one of the ways that we can do this is just by meeting people from uh, the culture of the language that we are learning. So, I mean, I fortunately work as an online teacher, so I have a lot of Russian students, and even talking in English, I feel closer to them and want to learn Russian even more, right? So I'm lucky that I do have Russian students, so I don't have to look so far to be in contact with them. But we live in the internet age, and we can find people all over the place. Well, especially online, you know, just reach out, go out of your comfort zone, try to um, just connect as people, you know, whether it be a language exchange or whatever you may be able to do. So do things like just check out the history, get a general idea of what the history is like, because the more that we can make the other people just as human as us in their experience, the more we're going to feel like we want to get to know their situation, how they are as people, their culture, their country, their language, naturally. You know, um, me studying Russian, of course, I've learned about some things about the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union and how so many Soviets, Russians, Ukrainians, um, Belarusians, all these people died protecting their motherland, and it makes you just feel, wow, look at all that they suffered. Um, I remember some months ago, I was watching a video. It was like just an Instagram video of one of my students, and she's, she from her Moscow apartment is recording Moscow on the day of like the celebration for winning their end of the war in World War II, and everyone's cheering from their balconies. Everyone's saying hooray, hooray, and you know, like I felt like I was Russian for that moment because I could really relate to what it on a human level of just you know being proud of something that you did that was so great, and even if it's just these traditions, you can really feel it because they're still living um, in the people now, So what else? Music. I mean, music is so important in establishing emotional connection, right? So there's this group in Russian group that I really like called Kino, and just by seeing what the main writer was writing about in the 80s, he was writing about some political stuff, but in the earlier stages, they were just writing from the perspective of being kids wanting to have a good time. And this is a general thing, Um, sometimes, I was having the conversation about how, um, how could people in, let's say, Stalinist Soviet Union think that that time was good? And it was just because they're young, having a good time. They're not thinking so much about what's going on all around them, right? But so this guy is was writing songs from the early '80s, and he basically was just saying, "Man, I have got a lot of time. I don't have a lot of money. I'm trying to have some fun," and like that's a message I can relate to, or at least could relate to at some point in my life. And music is just so instrumental because you're going to feel emotions of anger, love, sadness, boredom, and it's going to happen through a different language. And these are emotions that we all felt, and it's just what brings you closer to your language that much more. And it's so powerful. You inject these kind of things into your life, and it's going to stay there with you forever because people touch your heart, music touches your heart, other things as well, So we got to think of how we need to implement this, how we can, because emotional connection and language learning is super important. And if you can think about how to have cultural goals as a part of your language study, then that would be good as well. So that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe. I have a really great interview coming out in a couple days with a Dutch guy who's quite big on Russian YouTube, and we talk all about Russian language learning. So we'll see you then. Have a good one.